Yo. Peace. What up with you, man? Know what it is. First episode of the new year. Ringside Club, things of that nature. What's up with
Yes,
y'all, fellas?
man. We're chilling, man. Chilling, man. Got the heat on
Bless
right
Black.
now. Have a nice some
I'm,
nice tea over here. I'm good. I'm cool.
I'm blessed Black, highly favored. You know what I'm saying? Feeling great. Terramana in my system. Got the dower in my lungs. I got wrestling on the brain. I got the gang on the screen. Over here, man. It's the Ringside Club. It's the Almighty. You heard? My mic ain't even in, but fuck it. The iPad is doing well, so the speakers is up. Y'all gonna hear me regardless. You know what I mean? The skin looking great on the screen. The screen doing great tonight. You know what I mean? Shout out to that camera. Quality is just A1. We got so much shit to recap. Let's get into this shit, man.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, so you already know, man. This is the show before the show, otherwise known as Survey Time. So today's survey is as follows. Pull up my run sheet real quick. We have WrestleMania 40 is coming up, of course. We're in Mania season right now. The next time we talk about a WWE pay-per-view, we're talking about the Royal Rumble. We have Australia coming up for Elimination Chamber Mania right after that. So you already know what time it is. We're in that season. Speaking of WrestleMania season, the survey question to go around the ring is, will WWE split the tag titles before WrestleMania 40? I see I see no reason why they would do it. If they haven't done it yet, I think it would be dope for it to be done. There's enough tag teams and there's two shows. Why not? But nah, they ain't splitting that up. Not a chance. Ron, what you say?
Yeah, I'm gonna mimic those same sentiments. I'm gonna go with no as well.
No, but I thought the question was good enough to throw out there. Little red
Yep.
hair.
I hear that.
We'll see. Who's the tag teams right now?
um, Judgment Day. Isn't
Oh,
Judgment
all right.
Day? Yeah, Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Let's start the
Yeah.
show.
Peace to the gods, the ringside club hard. My name is A.O. Say you're the Ron the Don. Blame Boogie while you at it, blame Chad Law. K-Fabe is dead, break the fourth wall. Whatever style, whether it's lucha or strong style. Come through the beam, we fly, burn the ball down. Back to the pad, chop it up for the par. Ringside club, intro to the squad as the show starts.
Peace. You know the vibes, man. Happy 2024 to y'all. Happy conclusion to the holiday season. I'm happier than ever that the conclusion of the holiday season is upon us. We made it out of here alive, and I mean, still got a couple dollars in my pocket. But you already know what it is, man. Every Thursday night, your boys, the RSC, the mightiest of the mighty, the Ringside Club, we go live, man. It's Thursday, somewhere between the hours of 9 and 10. We're right here on Twitter, pardon me, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, wherever you want to catch us, we're live, broadcasting live from the Empire State, by the way. And of course, first and foremost, you catch us at the ringsideclub.com. All the past episodes are there, all the future episodes are there. All of the merch, you can make sure you pick up a nice little T-shirt, things of that nature with this logo right here. Real clean. Weather's kind of chilly outside, so you might want to pick up a hoodie or a little hat, something like that. But you know the vibes, man. It's the Ringside Club, ringsideclub.com. Across all socials, that means TikTok, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever. Catch us there. Follow Spotify, Apple Podcasts for the audio, YouTube for the visuals. With that being said, I believe we just had a pay-per-view last week. It's called World's End. So when I introduce myself, I'm going to do it properly. I'm going to introduce myself as the champ. The champ is here, ladies and gentlemen. The pay-per-view predictions champion of the world. Your boy A.O. Danielson and shit like that, man.
The champ is
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm going to pass it to my mans.
Hey, who are you? Let me introduce you to the other Don.
Yes, sir. You already know it is Ron the Don, the 5 foot fresh, and salute to the new champ. And I am also the RSC TV champ as well. So salute from one champ to another. You already know. He already said, cop the gear, cop the hoodies. It's kind of chilly outside. Cop some coffee, cop some hats, cop all that, man. Yes, sir. What's good, Chad?
Boy, Chad out here with no belt like a dude with pants too big. You heard?
Insane, man. I got no title right now, so I start 2024 off. It's fucking wicked if you ask me. But it's all right though. TV title is coming back to the kid. I'm just waiting to pick my spot, pause, you know what I'm saying, and see when I'm really gonna decide to get this shit off of Ron. And if the Rumble title is coming back to me on the predictions heavyweight side, because you know what I'm saying, I just got a feeling about the Rumble. I just got a feeling. So that's how we rocking right now, man. It's been a good week. Good start to the new year. Feeling productive. Feeling on top of a lot of things, a lot of schedule work. Shout out to Elijah Rosario. Got the new EP that we dropping, 3-pack. It's on the way on next Friday. You know what I'm saying? It's going down. The project is going to be distributed via Equity Distributions. It is called Letter to My Love, 3-track EP. And then after that, on the 19th, we will be live at the In the Fest Festival in Durham, Raleigh, North Carolina. So I'll be in North Carolina in those coming days. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying? We in the Empire Tri-State. We got a snowstorm coming, but my brothers are still going to be at House of Glory this weekend. It's going to be a movie. Tell them about
Yes,
House
sir.
of Glory, man. What's popping?
You already know. We got the world title match, House of Glory World Championship. Your man Mike Santana is defending against Josh Alexander. I think the name of this show is Brace for Impact, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of
yeah.
a lot of TNA wrestling / Impact stars are going to be in the building. We got ABC, Chris Bay and Ace Austin teaming up. I think they're the reigning TNA tag champs. They're going against the House of Glory tag champs main event. So there's a lot going on. The card looks pretty dope. You know what I mean? And House of Glory is always a good time, especially when you're in the building at House of Glory like we were last month to end the year off. So good way to start the year off as long as the weather holds up. But it looks like it's going to be all right. So we'll be in the building. RSC and the HOG, you heard?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, you already know usually there's 4 of us. This is the best 4-man booth in the game. But Bug is out on assignment. However, I would be remiss if I didn't let everybody know that he has some shit dropping. He's starting the year 2024 off with some shit. I believe it's 3 tracks that are dropping mañana at midnight, actually. So we got this joint right here featuring Jay Skis, produced by Blame Boogie.
Yeah.
You might have heard some of these instrumentals in the background. I'm not even sure which one this is. But we got this dropping. He has a track dropping with Seven the Genius. And then, of course, one more dropping with Smoke Dizza. So make sure you check that out, Blame Boogie. Make sure you tap into all of his socials. He's at Blame Boogie on Instagram, Threads. He's at what's the Twitter?
I think it's Blame Boogie. I think
Blamesworthy.
Blamesworthy. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Blamesworthy.
Blamesworthy on the Twitter.
Yeah.
But check the brother. Check the good work out by the good brother. Know what I mean?
Yes, sir. All these artworks are clean, man. And I heard a snippet of the first joint. I think you had thrown it in the chat and said, no, he was going off, man. So I can't wait.
Of course. Peace to user error on the production for that. I'm gonna butcher this. Spyuda. Is that correct?
Spuda.
Spider.
Hey, it's love. It's love. It's love. Whatever it is, whatever your name is, my boy. You know what I mean? Like, all you need to know is tap into whatever Blame Boogie is dropping tomorrow, dropping at midnight. It's quality work by a quality guy, you heard?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right, man. 2023 is in the books. A lot of things happen in pro wrestling. A lot of news happened in pro wrestling. Before we start reflecting on 2023 and predicting or projecting what we want to see in 24, my one little piece of news, this is a show that a lot of people have been looking forward to, this Bianca Belair and Montez Ford show. They have a date, February 2nd. It's called Love in WWE. It's going to be on Hulu. I have no idea much more than what you'll see on the flyer right here. Marriage is the ultimate tag team. Looks like it's just going to be following the 2 of them around. But, you know, peace to them. Love and wrestling, love and WWE, Hulu, Bianca Montez. Looks like it'll be. I'll at least check in for the first, episode or 2. See what it's looking like.
You got suspenders and turtlenecks on. This shit is definitely catering to everybody, everybody in the family.
This is super brown sugar.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This is
Oh
super
my
brown
God.
sugar, but get the bag,
I think it'll be interesting. You know, two people who came up in NXT together and then made it to the main roster. So I'll definitely want to see if Montez is as much of a clown as he is on in the ring, like on TV as he is behind the scenes. So I'll definitely tap in for the first episode, and that's my birthday weekend too. So
Gang,
we'll
gang.
see.
You heard?
Big
Yeah, man.
birthday.
That's my one little piece of news because there's a lot of moving and shaking that's going on as far as rosters, as far as who's wrestling for what promotion on what show that we're gonna get into later on in the show. But yeah, man. Unless anybody else wants to mention something.
Hey, man. It's the RSC, man. It's Thursday night. Just want to let everybody know. Thank you for liking, subscribing. Slowly but surely, we're climbing up there, man. Consistency. You know what I'm saying? Y'all sharing. Y'all telling a friend. People that be hitting me like, yo, I ain't really into wrestling, but I fuck with y'all. And I fuck with what y'all doing. So now I'm watching wrestling more because of what y'all got going on. So thank y'all that y'all even tuning in and getting your wrestling shit from us. So you know what I'm saying? There are people that are genuinely like, yo, I'm fucking with what y'all are saying on your take, but I'm watching this shit to really see how validated y'all are with y'all opinions and shit. So, you know what I mean? Salute to y'all for just staying in touch with us every week, man. For real, for real.
Facts.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Let's get right into it. Like I mentioned, a lot of things were happening in 2023, and there's some things to look forward to in 2024. So my topic is pretty much that, right? Straight to the point. I made a list of just a couple of matches that I thought were dope, entrances, gear. I just want to reflect on 2023 being the year that it was. Just some things that I thought were dope. For starters, I think my favorite match would have been Sabre versus Bryan at Wrestle Dream. I thought that was just a perfect match. It was a match that a lot of people wanted to see, myself included, for a very, 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 very long time. It didn't happen the previous year at Forbidden Door because of injury, so they were able to run it back and get it together, and it was a classic. It was a classic. I say classic. I'm not the one to throw around classic like a match just ended 5 minutes ago and somebody's like, "Yo, it's the greatest match of all time." Absolutely not. But the way that I judge matches, aside from what I'm seeing, is do I want to watch this again? And that's a match that I've probably watched 4 or 5 times since, and I see no reason why I'm not going to watch it another 4 or 5 times in the near future. So that'll probably be my favorite match. Favorite entrance, I thought Bianca Belair at this year's WrestleMania was fire when she had the kids come out and dance. There was an amazing story. I think the youngest girl that was part of her entrance, her mother literally just passed away the day before or earlier that day or something like that. It was nuts.
Yeah, I
and this
remember
is a
that.
baby. Yeah, this is a baby. So, the fact that she was able to, attach a great memory so close to such a horrible memory, worst day in a lot of people's lives. I thought that was really, really dope. Plus Bad Bunny at Backlash, when they had that pay-per-view in Puerto Rico and the whole arena went up.
Yeah.
That was fire. Just some threads that I thought were interesting that I really want to see more of. This is more news, by the way, as far as what WWE is doing. They announced they're going to be hitting Toronto for Money in the Bank this year, plus an NXT show and SmackDown, I believe. But just the international pay-per-views, WWE really made it a point to go outside of the U.S. and tap into that international crowd. And each one of those shows proves that that's a crowd and an audience that's been really, really clamoring and waiting for that type of energy to come to their locality. And they all went up. They went up in Montreal, they went up in Puerto Rico, they went up in London, in England, a couple other spots. Obviously, they do the Saudi, pretty much.
Australia.
Yeah, Australia's coming up.
Yep.
Australia's coming up for Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Absolutely, it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. So, I just thought that was an interesting thread. The TNA relaunch is something that they announced last year. I'm looking forward to this year. The Continental Classic I thought was a highlight for AEW and really ended the year off strong for them. And if I was narrowing down some favorite wrestlers, I think, I have 4 right here. Athena, I thought she had an amazing year. Bryan, of course. Sabre Jr., of course. And Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay didn't have a whack match. Matter of fact, none of those that I just mentioned.
No, when you say Bryan, you mean Bryan Danielson, not Bryan Cage. Just so people know.
Hey, man. Bryan Cage is still out here getting it busy. But no, I meant Bryan with a Y.
Not Brian Keith. Not Brian Cage.
Brian Keith is on the list of what I'm looking forward to coming up this year. You know what I mean? Like, I think him being signed. But before we get into 24, that's just my, my quick rundown of things that I thought were dope. Whatever you gentlemen want to name. Could be matches, could be entrances, gear. I thought Penna is always top notch with the gear. You know what I mean? There's a couple other people. Bianca's always top notch with the gear.
Yep.
So yeah, man, just what will y'all, what do you think of when we mentioned pro wrestling 2023? A lot of returns happened this year as well. So
Yep. Well, after you put that question in the notes, I actually came up with a very short list. So I'll run through it real quick, just for my my favorite moments and just in general for the year. I said the return of Randy Orton, because I thought that was dope. Man was gone for 18 months, finally came back. You saw his reaction with that first when he came on Raw, the emotion and everything. So anything with the bloodline before June. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn beating the Usos for the undisputed tag team champions for the championship. I thought that was fire. I felt the emotion in that. I definitely love the Backlash crowd in Puerto Rico. Cheers, gentlemen. That crowd was on 100 from beginning to end. I never seen a crowd that hype, keep up that energy for the entire show. So I thought that was memorable. Honestly, I like the Adam Cole MJF stuff, like the best friend stuff. I thought that was entertaining as hell. Didn't go the way that I guess people favored, but nonetheless, I liked how it was before it started getting a little
a little long in the tooth.
Right, exactly. Like you said, the Zack Sabre Jr. versus Brian Danielson. Pardon. I thought
Brian Bryanson.
Brian Bryanson. I thought that was an incredible match. And I have the AEW Continental Classic. I loved every match in that whole run. I didn't see anything lacking like that. I couldn't even name a match that was trash or anything like that. I loved it from beginning to end, man. And of course, man, listen, we're going to Wale Mania in April, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
Well, actually, that's for
what?
2024. So
That's 2024, but
yeah.
you just reminded me the House of Glory show that we went to, the Grand Slam. That was my personal first AEW show. So that was
word.
That was fire.
Yeah, I still need to make it to the show, man.
Yeah.
I really feel like I gave a roundup of things. I'm gonna start with CM Punk, whether it was AEW, whether it was WWE. I think he was the best part, or one of the best parts of 2023 for me, just because of the name, the drama, the overexposure, the hype, everything that goes along with CM Punk was one of my best parts of 2023. Just because you expect him to come back. We thought it was going to be the end. He came back. Mm-hmm. Had a hell of a run in the summertime. We thought it was going to be a bright, beautiful new landscape in the future for AEW. Has a pretty fucking kick-ass opening match against the current world heavyweight champion, which is pretty telling. If I don't want to read too much into this shit, but something tells me that we would have had Punk MJF if things didn't go the way they did. So has that match, has a kick-ass send-off. Little do we know it was a send-off, and then pops up in WWE. This guy is something fucking else. He's a hero over there. You couldn't make this shit up. You really couldn't make this shit up, yo.
If nothing else, my boy knows how. Yo, the funniest thing about this whole year about Punk was before he made his comeback, when they spotted him at Raw and he was just in the parking lot chopping it up and he was inside.
We all would call it bullshit.
He's like, you got to get out of here. He was out here like, yo, I already know what's up over there. He was trying to get out of here.
Which in hindsight, I feel like if you ask him now, he's going to be like, what do you think? I'm like, read between the lines.
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
I was making sure I had to check the sign over here, man.
So, CM Punk's whole 2023. And it really was only 4 months. Dude wasn't even really active for most of the year.
Nah,
really
but for
just
the
the
time
summer.
he was, for the time that he was active, it was insane. It was ridiculous.
He wrestled everyone down to from Ricky Starks to who else did he wrestle? It's Bang Bang Gang, Samoa Joe. He's
Yeah,
had quite a few.
he got busy on Collision for like what the 2 months that he was there after
Yeah, he
Collision
got
went
he,
up.
he got
Yeah,
busy, and then now he's back in the E, and he's got a whole new landscape. So I think he
Yeah,
was one of the better.
he had the Forbidden Door match against Kojima. He had the
Oh
it was
my God, he did have that Forbidden Door fucking
what
Word.
was the pay per view after that he
clunker.
was a part of? That was one of the best matches I thought on that card, man.
I
I
forgot.
enjoyed it.
You know how I feel, man.
I
I
enjoyed it.
forgot.
What was and then the only other pay per view match he had was against Joe, right? It was just those two,
Yes,
I
that was
believe
that
so.
was it.
Yeah, I think
That was
that's
it.
it. Yeah, and
and
I
that was
love
one of the best matches on All In.
right. And I thought that was like, I thought this second run was way better than his first one. To be honest, you know what I'm saying?
Because the first one didn't really count so much. I
You
mean,
talking
it
about
did, but it
the
was
other
just,
match against Joe?
I'm just talking about his. I'm just talking about his run in AEW period, like just in general.
the world title runs, basically, like everything in that side. Because there wasn't really too much. Like his contract, even though it was probably signed for so many, for like 3 years or whatever, like the dude was there for probably like a cumulative of 1 year.
Yeah, that's wild.
I don't know. Like I thought,
If you
like
think about it, yeah.
outside of a couple of moves, like
He
some of
spent most of
the stuff with,
2022 on the show and 23.
but like some of the stuff when Hangman didn't hit because there were moves that he tried that just didn't work. You know what I mean? And then like the promos itself, they went off the rails. But like I loved his stuff with Mox. It was more so the injuries that got in the way of that shit making sense. You know what I'm saying?
Which I hope isn't a foreshadow of what's to come in the
Yeah,
WWE.
that's the thing. Like, you know, I was like, all right, he's gonna start wrestling on these house shows at the Garden, and he's doing this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, take it easy out here, my man. Let's get to the pay
Which
per views at
I
least.
think was the smart move to get him ready as opposed to having him look super blown up on a random January Monday Night Raw match against Imperium.
No, I agree. I
Division.
agree. I think like it's important for him to just be active and let's see what we have right here. But you can't like again like he's unfortunately one of those guys that you can say is like at least at the very bare minimum injury prone. At bare minimum injury prone. You know what I mean? So let's not But yeah, man, that's punk. What else was popping in 23?
Triple H Creative Takeover. That was one of my favorite parts of the year. I think Triple H has hit on
Yeah.
all cylinders this year, man. He's really made me excited.
Yeah, that was
This is
dope.
coming from a guy who sat through all of 2019, 2018. I was here for the 2 out of 3 falls matches, the gauntlet matches. I was here for some of the stupid shit that we saw.
There was a lot of those. Think about it
The
now.
random NXT call-ups that went nowhere so fast that I could take this shot right now and it would already been done.
And now some of them just went back down there, which is crazy.
I mean,
Think about
I
that
could
now.
call me crazy, but wasn't the carrying cross Jeff Hardy shit during that time? Or did that come later? Did that come during the pandemic?
I think that was during the. Wasn't that during? I think that was during the
No,
pandemic.
that was after the pandemic.
I don't even remember
I-
what you're
I-
talking about.
Carrying cross Jeff Hardy. Remember when he came to Raw with the Gimp mask on with the
I remember
helmet?
that. I didn't remember that was a
word.
part of
Shit,
Jeff.
Yeah, I wanted to forget that.
Yeah. Remember when Jeff Hardy beat him, and everybody was in an uproar about it? I think that might have been post.
Yeah.
That might have been post.
Man,
But
That
I
wasn't
think
too far removed of Keith Lee either. Bear Claw.
Bearcat
Bear
Lee.
Claw.
Yeah. Like so, the Triple H regime is just righted the wrongs of a lot of stupid shit that's been going on, and
What am I doing?
I can see, it's working for some. It's not really working for others. I won't go into too much detail right now about who it's not working for, but I mean, he's trying with other people. He's giving everybody a shot. Whether they're spinning their wheels, I mean, that's subjective, but I feel like a lot of them are just running through the motion. But they're here, though. Nonetheless, they back.
So, not to cut you off, Chad. So Jeff Hardy versus Karrion Kross. That was out July 19, 2021.
Post-pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was still in the Vince era.
Is that the postman? I would say that's like right in the. Well, that's
Nah, because we would never have said, why would Triple H put a fucking helmet on Karrion Kross and that Jeff Hardy?
Yeah. And then that Keith Lee, the Bearcat thing was at the same
Bearcat
time.
Lee lasted all of 1 week, yo. That was crazy.
That was why I get this. I get what he was trying to do, but it wasn't rocking.
Wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
It was not
So Triple
necessary
H,
at all.
Triple H Creative does it, and finally, my third favorite highlight of 2023 is less elite. I'm on the fence of less elite the better, yo. They just stale, not really exciting for Young Bucks. They got mentioned on Dynamite, and clearly the crowd was just like, yeah, Kenny Omega is the cleaner, but he won't be around for the foreseeable future. And Hangman is going to continue to hold it down. So less elite, I think, was telling, but also needed. I really appreciated that fact. There was just wasn't so much heavy reliance on elite storyline.
Yeah, I'm glad for that too, because it's like you have a whole roster which can definitely show up, and you don't need the elite to carry it. So, until you mentioned them, I not say that I forgot about them, but it's like if they're there, they're there. If they're not, they're not. You know what I'm saying? So
Precisely.
yeah, it's not that serious, you know.
Y'all feel y'all agree? Disagree?
I think the thing with the Young Bucks is, first of all, like Omega is Omega when he's healthy, and
course.
he's not healthy right now. So just get healthy. That's my status on Omega. You know, there's a lot of questioning what direction, you know, they were actually going in, and a lot of it just seemed like he knew he wasn't healthy, he didn't feel good, and they didn't want to take the risk. I'm just, you know, hypothesizing right now. They didn't want to take the risk of putting him into something meaningful until they figured out exactly, you know, where he was and where he stood. And we see that there's no date right now on his return. So just get healthy. Hangman, I thought that they ended the year off really, really good with Hangman as far as going back and forth with Swerve. You know what I mean? That turned out to be a good thing for Swerve, obviously. The match that they had is among, you know, that's on the list of a lot of people's, you know, one of the top matches in AEW for the year. At least the second match that they had. So, I mean, Hangman is one of those dudes, like, there's some people that like him, some people that, you know, are indifferent on him. We just saw that he came back. I think Hangman is dope as long as he's in something that's, you know, allows him to be dope. And they're going back to the well with this Hangman thing. We'll see where that goes. You know, we'll see where that goes. But the thing about the Bucks, like, the Bucks are really, really good when they're assholes. You know, the Bucks are not, like, baby faces. Their act is not a baby face act.
Right.
When they try to be a babyface act, people just don't mess with it. You know what I mean? Like, you think of like peak Young Bucks. This is them when they're doing the crotch chops. They're just obnoxious as hell. You know what I mean? And they veered away from that on and off. And when they veered off of that, it's just not working. So it's a combination of that. And maybe it's also time, if this isn't working, you have to try something else. Let's not let this get stale. And when it gets stale, let's see what else we can do to freshen it up. Bell to bell, the Bucks are the Bucks. And again, your distance may vary as far as like how much you like them or don't like them. I think they're one of the best tag teams of all time. Some people think they're one of the worst tag teams of all time. I don't, you know, it is what it is. I think they're one of the best, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Young Bucks. We haven't seen them in quite some time, so we'll see. We'll see what 24 is looking like for them.
Right.
But yeah, like I agree. Like I think Triple H in general, making stories that make sense, you know, giving room for like logical booking, you know what I'm saying, is a far jump from just throwing random shit at the wall and forgetting what we did last week in favor of what I feel like doing right now, which was Vince's MO for a very long time. So, you know, we'll see what happens, man. We have NXT that's about to be on Pix 11. We'll see if that changes the NXT broadcast any. Maybe they're touring, you know what I mean? We'll see. Like, if they're going to be on broadcast television, does that mean that they're going to be going to different arenas? How does that work? We see the SmackDown is going to be moving back to USA. How does that change SmackDown? How does that change the booking? Is there a change? We'll see what Raw does, if they stay on USA or if they're going somewhere. But just the logical booking, man, as far as like Triple H making sure that all of the T's and I's are crossed and dotted and we're moving forward like that. And yeah, CM Punk is going to get a bag, so I agree with that shit as well. He's going to make sure that he gets his name.
We'll touch more on that.
And yo, the thing about Punk, bro, and I ain't going to belabor this, but the thing about Punk is Look at how much merch the dude moves. Look at how much conversation the
Sure.
dude starts. You know what I'm
Every
saying?
time.
Yeah.
If
word.
if you're basing it on numbers, if you're basing it on crowd response, he's always going to get a reaction. He's always going to get people talking. A lot of people that have podcasts, especially the ones that are based on breaking news, their numbers go up, their subscriptions go up whenever there's something to talk about regarding CM Punk. So top to bottom, he moves, he does numbers, whether you like him or not. He does numbers, and until he stops doing numbers, he's going to have a job in pro wrestling. Facts.
Ain't gonna dispute that.
Yeah, not at all.
Undisputed. What are we looking to in 24? Looking forward to in 24. Like for me, we'll talk a little bit more. I think this was Chad's topic about where a lot of these pieces are moving. People are moving around, and they're in different places than you're used to seeing them. But for me, and especially coming off of Wrestle Kingdom, I got my Los Ingobernables de Japón hat on, the old Classico. There's a lot of moving and shaking just within some of these companies as far as people that are being positioned differently now. Coming out of the Continental Classic, for example, what happens with these 3 belts and how are they defending and what's next for Eddie Kingston? You know,
That match felt like I was watching. I felt like I was watching Rampage. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh,
What's
the Fatal 4-Way joint on
You
Dynamite.
could have picked a little bit stronger of 4 people than that. I ain't even going front, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, coming out of the Continental Classic, you know, I'd like them to just get in the. But I also think it's one of those things. This happens a lot of times when somebody wins a new title. The first defense is always going to get shit on because they're not going to lose the belt. So I'd rather not blow a marquee match right now.
Right.
And save up for a marquee match maybe a month or 2 down the line when there's some doubt as to whether they're going to retain.
Right.
Like Eddie Kingston wasn't going through all of that shit to lose next month.
I mean, if he did lose next month, I think that'd be the swerve that we all didn't see coming. But I would love to see coming.
Yeah, I'll be one of those people. Definitely want to be. Definitely.
I'd be like, yo, shit. This they caught me off guard with this one. Like,
I get it, but I don't think like that particular swerve just feels like a swerve for the sake of a swerve for me. You know,
unless Swerve wins, and it's a hell of a swerve.
Hey, I mean, triple entendre. Don't even ask him how.
You feel me? Like, that's the only way it goes. But nah, these new titles will be cool. I just hope there's more emphasis on some of these titles than just you get a belt, you get a belt, you get a belt, you get a belt.
I think what they should do is differentiate what one belt stipulation is versus the next belt stipulation. So, for example, in New Japan, they introduced that TV championship that Zack Sabre held for a full year, January 4th, 23 to January 4th, 24. The stipulation
that Tanahashi wins, I think, is actually mad funny. Cause I'm like,
no, I mean, president. He got elected president and said, nah, I'm going to need that. I'm going to need that. But in peace to Phil Lindsay. I saw Phil was on X. I was up, matter of fact. I was watching live, 1:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning.
He's a New Japan guy. You know,
boy was sitting in a geisha, Indian style.
Yo, that's what I was thinking too in his robe, like just said, like sitting in front of the TV
like this.
with a bowl of cereal.
It's a holiday, bro. January 4th is a holiday every year. Every year. But with the TV championship, it's only a 15-minute time limit. So when you have a lot of these title matches and you need to build up and get your offense and, you know, make a move and play chess, there ain't no time for that. And somebody like Zack Sabre Jr., who is obviously one of the most, if not the most technical guy, he likes to set his moves up and, you know, play with his opponent. So by the time they get to the 20-minute mark, let's say, you know, he's already worn them down. But my point is, you know what you're getting with that championship. With the Continental Classic, the way that they had it was there's nobody allowed at ringside. All of these matches are 20 minutes only. So there's very clear stipulations. But what's the difference between the TV championship and the Continental Championship? What's the difference between the Continental, the TV, and the International Championship? Right. You know what I mean? At least like the FTW Championship is technically still not recognized, if I'm not mistaken, by AEW. But at least now we know that that's no holds barred, anything goes. So it's one of those things. But it's the same thing. Every promotion, every federation, maybe except for Impact, has this problem where you get to a point where the entire card is nothing but title matches, and we don't know what one title means versus the next title.
Yo, the WWE don't got this problem. tell you that much.
How now?
Because if Seth and Drew would have faced off in that Raw main event without a World Heavyweight title, that match would have fucking sucked. Without a stipulation, without a title, without a reason for us to care about that match, that would have been another Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre main event.
I don't know. When I say they have the problem, I think like unnecessary championships is more so my point. So, for example, we would never have had the World Heavyweight Championship if we knew that Roman wasn't just going to be sitting on this shit for 5 years.
But I'm kind of cool with us having it because it gives people a reason to fight for shit. Like I said, like if Seth and Drew would have fought without a title, like that match would have been, that shit would have dragged, bro. I watched that whole shit.
No, you're not wrong. All I'm saying is if Roman wasn't holding that championship, it would have been moving around. So if Roman was just not ever,
I don't even think it would have moved around, son. It didn't move around before pandemic. But even still, it didn't really move around.
I don't recollect it moving around like
that. It didn't really
before.
move around much before Roman even got to it.
No. Again, my point is Roman is not losing that championship anytime soon. We said this a year ago. So that's the only reason why they made this title. Because they're just trying to pad the numbers with it. If it was more so we're making feuds and there's a chance that he might lose this shit, then you don't need to make the World Heavyweight Championship. And at some point he loses, and then you have these other feuds. Like you have one world champion. Not to belabor this point. That's, it is what it is. I think like in general, all of these promotions have a lot of championships. So I'd like to see, just differentiation, a difference.
AEW takes the cake. They got to take the cake for the most.
Nah, New Japan takes the cake. There's literally.
Well, they got the new global championship.
How many championships does New Japan
I don't
have?
know.
It seems like it's a lot. It seems like they come out with one like every year.
They have this
new
new global was like the Intercontinental, and it basically that lineage changed from Intercontinental to the U.S. to the U.K. It's all kind of like their second tier heavyweight championship. So now the global is basically the same thing, but again, like you have the IWGP World, you have the global, you also have the New Japan Strong, which is technically a separate promotion, but still under the New Japan banner. That's what Eddie's running around with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have junior heavyweight. So there's heavyweight and junior heavyweight. There's 2 sets of tag titles for heavyweight and junior heavyweight. Like there's a lot of championships. There's open weight, right? The never open weight. There's a lot of titles.
It's like
under
UFC,
that New Japan banner.
It's like UFC, man.
Nah, it's not. UFC has one title per weight class. So it makes perfect sense. If you're in this weight class.
But how many weight classes are there? There's like,
I don't know, maybe about 10, 12, something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot of titles still.
Nah, but the thing is, that it's only about this division. If you're 145 pounds, you're fighting for the 145-pound belt. That's it. It's very clear.
So I'll say for like AEW, I can see what you mean with like just having the belt, like just like having all these belts, because it's like you have the FTW belt, and like you said, they're not even recognizing it as an actual belt. So it's like this guy's just walking around with a former ECW belt, which is not really being pushed like that. So it's like you add another belt, like what are you gonna do with it? It's just like Eddie Kingston getting this belt. It's cool that he gets this belt, but what are you really gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying?
My standpoint on like the Continental Classic, I'm just gonna wait and see. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're gonna do with it yet. I don't know how it's gonna be defended if they break up the belts, if everything is tied together now. I don't know. They haven't clarified, so I'm just gonna wait and see. That's all my comments on that. But what I'm looking forward to, specifically why I brought the TV championship up, Zach lost. He had backstage comments that said, now I want to go after, another championship. We don't know what that championship is going to be. Maybe there's some clarification tonight on New Year Dash, whatever. But in general, like we see with Swerve, I'm looking forward to seeing what Swerve does. When does he go after? We know that he wants to go after that world championship, but how does it look? He's tangled back up with Hangman, but Samoa Joe is the champ. I want to see how long Samoa Joe's reign is, who he's going to be having matchups against. In general, I just think like the top of the year is a good reset. A lot of people out here had great years, but I want to see what we, where they go.
Right.
But I don't know. I probably have more to say, but Ron, what you got?
Yeah. So speaking of, going back to AEW, speaking about top of the year, one of the things I'm looking forward to right now, I have a little list for this as well. Nothing crazy. First thing was Undisputed Kingdom. And I'll get to that in my topic. Then I had CM Punk as well because I definitely want to see what he's going to do with this run, especially that he's home now and this is going to be like his third run. And judging from his debut, he looks healthy. He looks like he's in great shape. I think that saying like third time's a charm or whatever. I think this time he's like, okay, I gotta get focused. Like I can't be doing the shenanigans I was doing before. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be home. I gotta make a good run. So I definitely want to see what he's gonna do with that and see what he's gonna do with Rollins. I think that's gonna be fire. My guy is Cody gonna finish the story. We don't know how that's gonna be. They've been telling this story since the top of 2023. Definitely looking forward to the Continental Classic again. Hopefully they will be doing it again next year. On NXT they just announced the starting the
Dusty
the,
Classic.
the Dusty Classic. I think they're starting it next week, I believe. So I'll be looking at that.
Shout out to that boy Obafemi.
Oh, facts. Yeah, he's won that the NXT
Breakout tournament.
tournament. Shout out to him and homies and
I saw some clips for Son. Like I ain't watched the show, but he looks. That's a star.
oh no,
That's a star.
Once they
facts.
figure out what he's gonna do, if he's gonna be a monster face or a monster heel, he's gonna be in a great position.
Facts, man. And
Piece of that guy, man.
I have Rock versus Roman. Well, if that is going to happen, you know what I'm saying. Definitely want to see where that's gonna go. We can definitely touch on that later. And
So we're gonna get Rock versus Jinder the way that promo was going. Great.
I didn't want to see that.
Yo, that was wild. Did you see the
Shouts
crowd?
Shouts to Jinder though. Yeah, when soon as his music hit, everybody groaned at the same
Yeah,
time.
I was like, it was groaning in unison. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, but shouts to Jinder for no pun intended, knowing his role. You know what I mean? He played his role perfectly. You out here to basically get shit on.
Former WWE champ.
Yeah, he got shit on in style. Peace to Jinder.
Man, they definitely swerved us. With this
Can't
one.
hinder the gender.
Word. And the last thing I have is going back to what I was saying before. Was I jumped the gun? Us going to Wale Mania and just being around for WrestleMania 40 weekend. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
definitely
a
looking
fact.
forward to that.
I'm hyped for that.
And definitely checking out that store I sent y'all in the chat. Yo,
Suplex.
That shit looks lovely. Definitely gotta check that out.
The clock is ticking to WrestleMania. We're gonna look up and it's literally gonna be WrestleMania weekend. I'm excited.
That's facts because Royal Rumble is like
Still
three weeks away.
Still a minute away. We'll get there though.
Yeah. What you got? What you got for 2024, Chad? What you looking forward to?
Shit. I'm just looking forward to the quality wrestling, man. I feel like we've got enough surprises left and right. I don't know what more surprises we can pull out the fucking woodworks, man. If we get another Steve Austin match, maybe, but other than that, I can't say I have much surprises left in me. I just want to see the work speak for itself. I want to see the wrestling happen. I want to see some cohesion. I want to see stories that make sense.
Right.
I'm not here just to be surprised and popped by a legend or this person returning, that person returning. It's just like, just keep the consistency and the quality going. That's all I'm here for, man.
Yeah.
I know what you're looking forward to. You're a TNA guy. What do you see for TNA this year? Based on not even speculation, but just based on them, the announcements that we know that they've made. They rebranded. We know that. We know that they have put a lot of money and a lot of investment and time into redoing their arena. So there's going to be more emphasis, more production value that goes into it. And then, of course, we've seen some of the signings that they've had, at least for the first show. So what are you looking forward to as a TNA guy? I'm watching TNA Plus, by the way. I've been watching from Kurt's debut and kind of going forward with that. And that match today that I saw with the first match they had with Samoa Joe.
Genesis?
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? So, what do you, as a TNA guy, a longtime TNA guy, what do you see for them in 24?
Same quality matches, a new set of of faces to take over the knockouts division with the impending Trinity leaving, Deanna Purrazzo gone. And I see hopefully just hopefully just overall better. Like I don't know. I don't want to like speculate on too much, but I feel like they've done all right so far and they're coasting, they're getting by, but they put on quality matches. Like when you sleep on Impact the most, they put on some banger pay-per-view matches top to bottom. The storylines, they ain't really ask for too much, and the namesake is pretty much a really good cachet. I just hope that the right people win the right titles coming up, and it's not just belt staying on people for long periods of time. Like let this new fresh TNA landscape show some new winners along with that. Like Alex Shelley's doing a great run as TNA champion, he deserves it, but I think it's time to put that belt back on Moose. Maybe another Alexander run. It's options, you know what I'm saying? It's some options. The X Division title, the X Division in general is always going to be fire, no matter what. Tag division is going to be on point. Like I said, the Knockouts division is on its way to a complete rebrand, essentially. So, a new changing of the guard, if you will. So, TNA's got a lot of upside. Like, yeah, the name's changing, but I think they've got a lot of good sleepers. A sleeper out of TNA is what I think is going to be the case.
Facts, man.
Okay.
Sign up sheet.
What it do?
World's NDA from World's End pay-per-view with Y2J Chris Jericho.
Hey, man. If anybody's not familiar with what this story is about, I'm not either. Basically, there seems to be not even formal allegations made by the alleged victim. It's more so a guy by the name of Nick Hausman, who is a wrestling reporter or has a blog or whatever. And Jericho was Christmas Day. Jericho was on Twitter. He said something. It sounded like he was drunk tweeting. And Hausman responded with, he was talking about NDAs basically. And Jericho ended up talking about he's the only person that was backstage for Brawl Out that didn't sign an NDA. So he can be free to talk about whatever. And Hausman responded and said, well, what about the NDAs that you make other people sign? And it was kind of a snowball from there, back and forth on Twitter and shit like that. And then it came out, if you guys remember Kylie Ray, or what's her name? Is it Kaylee Ray or Kylie Ray? I think it's Kylie Ray. Kylie Ray. Kylie Ray was a wrestler in AEW during the first year, and all of a sudden she just bounced. And what people have been alluding to, and what a lot of people that are, I guess, closer to the situation are saying is actually valid, is that there was basically sexual harassment made, on the part of Chris Jericho as it relates to Kylie Ray, and that's the real reason why she's not there anymore. And there were NDAs signed. This is all alleged. This is all don't nobody.
Which makes sense why he wasn't featured this past Wednesday. I think he's going to take a nice.
Yeah, he's gonna be out of here. So the thing with Jericho, we saw on World's End, because that's the same day that story broke. I tell you, man, AEW has some shit always popping up when there's a pay-per-view. There's always injuries, multiple injuries. There's always backstage controversy or social media, internet controversy. They're snake bitten sometimes when it comes to pay-per-views.
The things that snake bites AEW so much is that their fan base, us included, are so internet driven that like we know what's going on. So like when we go to the show.
To an extent, because this is one of those situations where we know what's going on only to the extent of we saw some back and forth on Twitter. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. First of all, because there were NDAs signed. So if there was anything that legitimately happened, nobody can talk about it legally because that's what NDAs do.
But it's still the perception that like people
that's the thing.
Even have signs already made. Like, come on, how fast you gotta have signs with them?
Yeah,
News
but
just
that's
broke.
the thing. Perception is reality. I've read some things about this has been a reputation that Jericho has had. Like he makes it a point to go after people's wives and girlfriends and shit backstage. I don't know. I ain't backstage. I didn't play the disclaimer, but the disclaimer basically says that none of us are backstage or close to any of these people. I don't know any of these people. My whole stance on any of these things, and this goes from wrestling to any form of entertainment or anywhere in life in general, if you did that shit, you should get all of the punishment that comes along with that shit. If you didn't do that shit, the person that's making the false allegation should be out of here as well. I don't know what happens with this story moving forward. We didn't see Jericho on Dynamite I don't think we're gonna see Jericho for some time. We saw him get booed like a motherfucker in the Nassau Coliseum for World's End.
Now,
and
you
that's the
know,
reason why.
I didn't know about that story until I went to Twitter. I
But
was like,
that's
why
what
is
I'm
he getting
saying.
booed?
Yeah,
me
that's
neither.
that's
What happened?
exactly why. So like again, there's people to your point, Chad, that are specifically the AEW fan base that's like hyper online, hyper internet, but none of us know what the fuck is going on. So if Jericho did that shit, get him out of here. I think anytime somebody makes some kind of either allegation or this conversation like that, pull that person off of TV and lift the fucking rock up and see what's going on under there. You know, if there's smoke, there's fire a lot of times. So get him
This is
out of here.
crazy, though, that we've been pushing for Jericho to take a break, and if this has to happen for him to take a break.
Hey man.
Yeah. It's
Hey
insane.
man.
Life imitates art.
Yes,
Yeah.
I only know what y'all just said and what was said online. That's all I can say about it. You know,
If
like-
you're wilding, get that motherfucker out of here.
right.
We ain't taking sides over here at the Ringside Club. We need proof in the pudding. At least I need proof in the pudding. So, but otherwise,
100%.
Right.
I've been saying outside of the shenanigans, I've been wanting Jericho to take a little hiatus. So I'll take it for what it is right now. Like,
Yeah.
work for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Prepped and cooked.
What you got?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know it's my segment of the week. Prepped and cooked. Prepped is the wrestler of the week that I feel like is being prepped for doom. Cooked is the wrestler of the week that is absolutely toast. And prepped for this week, for me, when I look at a lot of the matches, the results, and everything that happened, Dante Martin, you are prepped, my man. Dante Martin of Top Flight. The boys can't catch a win. They have awkward fucking stare downs after matches, and the private party reunion tour, like that was just an awkward fucking exchange. Like that was very exciting to see Private Party back, but wow, that was just awkward in the ring watching the other random tag teams stand there like Top Flight and just like dance along and then be like, I guess, do we just stand here? Action Andretti guzzling water as a gimmick now. Top Flight is prepped, man. I should just put all the Top Flight in here, but Dante lost recently, and I don't ever see Dante winning previously or in the next couple of fellas. What say you?
I think as a singles, yeah. Like if you put Dante's name by itself for starters. So Dante as a singles for sure. You know, what I will say is he's put some weight on. He definitely looks healthy.
He looked like his brother. I thought it was his brother, so I was like,
yeah, he's put some weight on for sure. So, you know, I think hopefully somebody gets in his ear also. Like all of those high risk maneuvers are exciting, but that's what led to his injury. You know, had his foot going behind him. You know what I mean?
that's Darius.
Yeah,
that was Darius.
Nah, that was Dante.
No, it's Dante. Yeah.
That was
Both
Dante
of
on the Ring of Honor. Yeah, both of them have been out of here. So, yeah, have high risk maneuvers and all that, but, you know, let's not be too crazy. I don't want to see anybody, like, you know, seriously hurt themselves. As a singles, yeah, he ain't going anywhere anytime soon. I think there's opportunity with, like, for instance, Private Party coming back for either tag or trios, you know. So we'll see what Top Flight does as a trio or what they do as a tag, just because that division, while I wouldn't say that division is cooked, that division hasn't really been hot recently. You know what I'm saying? So with like, we just had the pay-per-view where the tag team champions were part of an 8-man tag. You know what I mean? So we'll see, but prep for sure as a singles, yeah, but we'll see what they do as a tag and as a trio.
I was actually thinking the same thing because it was just kind of random that they put him in a match, you know, for the international championship, although that was really random. And you know, I think he was just fine, you know, as the trio, as you know, as Top Flight, because I've been seeing their matches on Rampage, and I forgot who they. I think they had a match against. I think it was Penta. I think
Penta, Commander, and Vikingo.
Fantastic match. I think that was like 3 weeks ago. I think they were doing fine then. They, you know, what I mean, they ain't win every match, but and I think prepped in just far as like just a singles run right now. I mean, he wasn't prepped for that right now. I'm just thinking
Dante's been prepped for this. Darius has been out for a while now. Like, and then he just came back, then he was out again, and then
right.
we've seen the single Martin have a run, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Solo Martin have a run, like solo. So
And even then, I never even thought him even continuing to run. I just think of him as a tag team, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But just him doing this match or whatever, I thought it was just random. I was like, nah, it's cool. But prep for like that, yeah, it is prep. As far as just top flight, I think they're doing all right now because they've been doing some solid matches. So if they can push them in like that direction and get that going, I think they'll be all right. So
They'll be all right.
yeah.
My cooked for the week. This might be a little bit argumentative here, but Drew McIntyre, he is cooked. Boy, oh boy, he's cooked. After this past Monday, when Drew McIntyre got in the way of Drew McIntyre yet again, it just goes, wow, there really is nothing for this guy in the cards at WrestleMania. And that leads me to believe like he's the contract and all that dispute. I don't want to read into it. We're not the internet, you know what I mean? We ain't backstage and shit, but it's telling. I'm just like, I just don't think that their re-signing is going to happen. I think Drew's going to play this out because even if he does re-sign, I just don't see him doing anything else different in June that he would have been doing different in, say, this past October, November. I don't see anything different. And I am crazy enough, my topic, we'll get into it when it gets to it, but I think that Drew McIntyre will be all elite this year. Drew Galloway.
Hey, I'm all for Drew Galloway moving around. I'm all for Drew Galloway moving around. Yo, I mean, kayfabe only, when you lose world title matches twice, you're not going to get a third. There's no reason for you to get a third shot. So I don't know what happens from here.
Another Gunther feud.
I'm here for the match, but he's not going to win that either. You know what I mean? So, again, like kayfabe only, he lost to Seth, and then he lost to Seth. So there is no reason for Seth to grant him a rematch.
Unless Seth wants to be the nice guy like he always is and be like, you know what?
The only argument that Drew can make is that there was interference as far as the Money in the Bank distraction. So you would have to throw this into like a cage match kind of situation. And if they're not doing that, then Drew is not getting another shot at the title.
You know what I think will end up happening is a high percentage chance of happening now. I feel like this leads into that Judgment Day feud, and this leads to Judgment Day exiting as banishing Drew McIntyre from the WWE. And that's how he gets out of here.
Hey, when he was Drew Galloway the first time, it was fire. So if that's the move, and I'm here for it. But
TNA back, you know what I mean?
Hey.
Former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I'm not opposed. Hey, man, it's better than just spinning the wheels right now in WWE and then bitching about why you're not moving up the ladder.
Listen, I've been trying to think about him being cooked. I'm just trying to find a reason to care, to be honest. Like, because when you put the question, I was like, is it really cooked? I was like, kind of, I mean, to me, yeah, because it's like, I really don't care about what he's doing right now. I feel like he should be doing something. And if he is going to, or he's going to be pushed to do something, it's like, I'm really not going to care. So maybe, I don't know what his contract situation is right now. I don't know if he resigned. I don't know if he's,
It's over. My shit over. Tequila done.
pour something out for your boy.
Yeah, man.
He's out of here.
Yo,
Pour something out for his title aspirations. It's over.
Yeah, do something because it's
That man
not
needs the international title shot. If there was an international championship at WWE, Drew McIntyre would be
right.
there. Right now, he ain't in contention for nothing but a feud with Dominic and JD for the next 3 to 4 or 5 weeks.
right, and he ain't. And it's not like he's horrible in the ring. It's just that I just don't care. It's like
No, he's nice. And yo, think about this. I don't know what any like if we were to go match by match, or promotion by promotion for whatever your favorite match was. They had that match, that triple threat at Mania with Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew, right?
Yeah,
He's had quality matches against Seth.
Right.
Every time he steps in the ring, it's quality. It's just that we're not conditioned to believe that he has a real shot at walking out of that match with a title.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah,
They went to the
That
well
too,
too many
yeah.
times without him actually cracking that shit.
Is Drew McIntyre turning into Dolph Ziggler?
I can't see that.
Scary, right?
That's a rough
Yeah,
brand.
right.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
What you
yeah.
just said?
No, but
He's
that's a
turning into
rough.
Dolph Ziggler.
That's a rough brand. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What you just described, AO, was like,
Yeah.
sounds like Dolph Ziggler.
And it would be to his best interest to not allow himself to be branded as that. I haven't heard that yet outside of this last
Right.
40 seconds. So it would be in his best interest. If this is all I see for myself, if I stay here, you got to move around. You have to move around. Now,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about Dolph, a.k.a. Nick Nemeth, but I don't believe that any promotion that Nick Nemeth goes to is going to be a world championship situation. I think he's here to have great match. He's here to show the world that he can have a great match. And if that's enough, which again, as long as they're really cutting checks, cool. But if you
Actually,
want to like really shake shit up, that's not cool.
I'd refute that. I actually think Nick Nemeth will be a TNA World Heavyweight Champion in 2024. I'll hit that prop.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually,
I can
think
see
you're
that.
right.
I think he would pop up in TNA, and then like within the first month or two, like win the world title on some like, yo,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
here to show the world.
Let's save that for your topic. But I think he has the passion for it. I just don't think he was ever booked to be that guy. But I think he has the passion for it and the ability, obviously. But yeah,
So we agree. Drew's cooked. Ron, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Drew
gonna go.
Cook.
Yeah, I'm gonna be Cook. I'm gonna say Cook for now. Yeah.
Hey, these names can change next week. Next week we could be saying, yo, I had no idea Drew McIntyre was gonna become the Money in the Bank winner by beating Damian Priest
Yeah.
on Raw on some random shit. But I don't know.
Yeah, as of right now, yeah. it's
Dante
kinda-
Martin could challenge for such and such championship.
Samoa Joe, Dante Martin next week.
Samoa
Oh, yeah.
Joe, Dante Martin is amazing.
Oh Lord.
It would be a fire match. I
It'd
ain't
be an
gonna hold you.
amazing
It's
match.
gonna be a
It'd
great
be
match, but
It'd be an amazing match. But yeah,
random as
nah.
hell, but
Muscle busted that kid back to the injury reserve list.
oh my god. All right, so we saw in at World's End, we finally revealed the devil, and the devil happened to be Adam Cole, and Adam Cole came with a new crew called the Undisputed Kingdom, and we all know it's a bridge of his crew in WWE and his guys, the Kingdom. And I for me, I thought it was dope. I know for the last few months, this devil shit has been insane. We were not feeling it. It was going nowhere. And it finally came to I guess like a checkpoint, or like a decent checkpoint, because now we're gonna have I guess some type of error with them. Now we'll see how it goes. I like the whole thing. What I was looking forward to was just seeing how they were going to start Dynamite and see if they're going to start with them, and they absolutely did. Came in there, explained what he did, what the aspirations were, everything that they were going to do. I think it's going to be a great group. Finally get to see Wardlow doing something and something meaningful, as they said in the speech, So my question to you guys, just simply, what do you think about it? What do you think they're gonna go with it? How long, how is it gonna be to you guys?
Yo, did Adam Cole say Roddy was going after the TNT or the International?
International.
So
International.
Roddy's going after International. We got the Kingdom as the ROH. Only thing I wouldn't have done is immediately come out and play that whole. It's basically the Luchasaurus and Christian Cage. Like, yeah, you're gonna win it, and when I ask for it, you're gonna give it to me. I wouldn't have done that immediately. Let that just
Right.
play out over time.
Right.
But with that being said, the glass half full way of looking at that is we know that that's a built-in feud. That's immediately Wardlow and Adam Cole at some point.
yeah,
And
what I mean?
Wardlow has to actually win personally.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Adam Cole is one of those guys that whatever he does for the duration of his career, he's going to be over. He's connected to the fans. The music is always fire. The catchphrases are always there. He knows how to emotionally connect to people. So he's going to be fine. Wardlow has been the guy that he's had these
shaky.
and no fault of his own, really, or at least no fault as far as the booking is concerned. You can always poke fault because if you feel you're not being booked right, then it's up to you to figure out how to fix that shit, and it hasn't worked. So at least we now know that there's a direction for Wardlow moving forward. His job is to go after, whether it be Samoa Joe or whomever, after that World Heavyweight Championship, probably win it if we're thinking about what the feud looks like between him and Adam Cole by the time Cole is ready to get back in the ring. So we're looking at Wardlow at some point becoming a World Heavyweight Champion, which is dope. And then let's figure out, what the relationship is. So in general, my biggest problem with that Devil storyline really had everything to do with how long it went and how long it was pretty much just going in circles.
Right.
It's like at some point, basically at the end of All In, there was a reconciliation, and even though I don't necessarily agree with, my friendship means more than this world championship after the world championship match, whatever, there was still, room to move, but we should have been able to move a lot faster to get to the point. And I think a lot of that has to do, with the injury. Adam Cole, at Grand Slam, which was was that August? Grand Slam was August, right?
Yeah, that was in
September.
August.
Was September?
It was September.
Right.
Okay.
So All In was August. September he broke his ankle, and then they just extended that shit and ran in circles with it. So my biggest problem was, whatever. The bottom line is now it's over. We know who the Devil was. We don't have to worry about that shit anymore. We see who the crew is. It's the Kingdom. It's his ROH crew / the Undisputed Era crew from NXT. We don't know what Kyle O'Reilly's status is, but he's always a player that could be on the table. What's the other half of Red Dragon?
Bobby Fish.
He's never going to be in AEW,
Bro,
so we don't have to worry about him. You talk about cooked. He's fried, bro.
He don't even wrestle no more, so he's
out here boxing, right?
Yeah, somebody had said they were thinking it was going to be Red Dragon.
Yeah. Red Dragon would be dope, but Bobby Fish ain't with the company anymore, and we don't know what Kyle O'Reilly is.
Also been there, done that.
Exactly. So again, like this is cool. Like I see like there's some chit chatter, like people are like, oh, AEW is ripping off. I don't understand, like, if somebody has had a history in whatever promotion they've been in and people know about it, you use all of that shit. Why not? You know what I mean? So he has his crew assembled. It's interesting. So now let's see, like, international champ is Orange Cassidy. We know that's been a call-out championship. So how long does it take Roderick Strong to call out Orange Cassidy? When do they have their match? And is Orange Cassidy the guy, is Roderick Strong the guy to finally beat and take that title off of Orange Cassidy? We'll see.
Yes.
How long does Wardlow wait to call out Samoa Joe? Right?
Right.
Or is that a triple? Like, what's the world championship match 2 months from now by the time we get to Revolution? You know what I mean? Is it Wardlow? Is it Swerve? Is MJF magically back on some John Cena shit?
Find out next week on Dynamite for the AEW Road to Revolution Eliminator Tournament. Winner faces Samoa Joe at Revolution.
Hey, coming off the back of the Continental Classic tournament, I'm all with the tournaments until it gets whack again. You know what I mean? But yeah, so there's a lot of unanswered questions, which is dope. Right. I can't predict exactly when or what's going to happen, so I'm with it.
And that's what I like. I can't predict. They called out what they're going to do, but I can't predict exactly what's going to happen because it's so many. There's a few moving pieces that can happen right now. So with it, what do you think, Chad?
Plus, by the way, new music.
Yo, yeah, man. I ran that back a few times. I think somebody had posted it on X, and I was like, yo, this shit is fire.
In regards to Undisputed Kingdom, I think it's cool that Adam Cole gets to move around with different factions that all have history with him. We've done the Elite Adam Cole shindig for the most part. We've done Undisputed Elite
Bullet Club
or Undisputed Cole, Undisputed Era 2.0. Mm-hmm. Bullet Club here and there. Now
you saw Jay White came out and alluded to that. It's like, we've been cool and oh shit, you jumped me. You know what I mean?
So, and now we get to touch base on the Kingdom, which is his ROH faction that, you also have to realize they're there too. You know, you can't put that to the wayside. So I think it's cool that we've utilized Adam Cole to this extent with all of these different factions and allegiances that he's had. I'm happy it's over. I kind of was
Word.
I think
going
a lot of us. I think a lot
like,
of us.
wow, next
Think-
year,
yeah.
thankfully.
Right.
This also made me think back to everything that's happened with the Devil beatdowns and all that. Because I'm like, so Adam Cole breaks his ankle. The Devil thing happened shortly after that. This assembled. And then it's like Adam Cole just really didn't really tell a lie. He was like, yo, I just fucking pulled the move before he did. He was going to do the same shit, man.
Right.
Like, I
Yeah.
beat him to it. Which kind of, you didn't really beat him to it because
Yeah.
fucking
You
hell
know
is
something? Let's run back real quick to people that were jumped, and it actually makes sense in my mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Jay White was jumped.
collateral
was jumped?
damage.
It's not even. It's even more so than collateral damage. Like they have a history. Adam Cole and Jay White have a history in the Bullet Club. They don't fuck with each other. You know what I mean? So it could be random. It could have been redirecting to make people think it was MJF, but there is a history there that they could lead on. Who else did they jump? They jumped Hangman Page.
The Acclaim.
Hangman.
The Acclaim too.
Yeah, they jumped-
Hangman and the Acclaim.
Hangman too. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. I like where it ended up going because
Right.
it gets the belt off of MJF, number one, and it's going to allow him to be off camera, to heal up, and by the time he comes back, hopefully have learned from the pros and the cons of his reign as a champ and come back better. You know what I mean? I just thought it was, again, one of them things where, all right, this is dragging. Let's fucking change directions. Let's pivot, and let's learn from what the fuck worked and what didn't work. So where we ended up was cool. How long it took to get there, way too long. Not cool.
Right. And
You
that's
know what I also realized too is everybody that's available to feud now has a purpose. Like that's been jumped. Like Jay White now has something to direct his attention to and not just spin his wheels like I kind of was sure he was going to, but I just remembered, aha, he did get jumped, and now
Yep.
he has a reason to channel his anger and be like, yo, like y'all jumped me and y'all try to
Yeah.
take me out. Like I ain't with that shit. Like
Yeah.
I like that. You know what I'm saying? Does he go face? Maybe. I mean, tweener role. The crowd already rocked
Yeah.
with Jay White for the most part. They already rocked with the Gun Boys to an extent. So with Juice out, this is now the trios, which bring in the Acclaimed and those titles that have been disappearing for the last since they've had it. You know, that's going to force them to feud, but also bring in the Undisputed Kingdom of their trio. You know what I'm saying? That's cool too. Hangman, I think, wasted some valuable time going after, like not going after the group. He was going after Swerve. I guess, you know, that was excitement. Swerve, Hangman, you know, next match. That's cool. But it's just like you spoke on like, yeah, I'm going to get to Adam Cole and those guys that jump me and then forget about it. I'm going right to Swerve. So it's like, all right, I guess save. Yeah, whatever. Just forget about that even happening. I guess table that and we'll come back to that 3 months from now, I guess, when the Swerve feud is over.
I don't know. The way I saw that was, if you remember when he first walked in, he had his suitcase with him. So I'm assuming, and this could be a reach, but I'm assuming that he just gets to the building, right? So he wouldn't have been able to be there in time to get to the elite. So he's just pissed off and wants to fight anybody. Let me go back and rehash this shit with Swerve. You know, I think he's going to make his way back to the elite. And I think because Adam Cole is injured, he's going to be one of those guys that says, all right, if I can't get to you, I'm going to take down everybody around you. We'll see Hangman. And the interesting thing is, like, what does Hangman Page and Wardlow look like?
That's gonna be
You know what I mean?
fresh.
Right.
Yeah, that's fresh. Hangman Page and Wardlow. Pardon, we just lost Chad, but Hangman Page and Wardlow looks fresh. That looks like a scenario where
I like that.
we know that Wardlow again is still on his way up the way it looks. If I have to get to the world title, I have to beat a former champion. That's a pay-per-view match right there.
Yeah, you see,
I agree.
so many scenarios we can do with everybody with just Undisputed Kingdom. It's like so many factors we can do with this. And
This is a nice, new, fresh coat of paint to put on AEW for 2024.
Right.
Like, I give them kudos to this. Like, this is
Yeah.
exciting. I'm
I
looking
think
forward to
that
this.
black cloud of a stale story plus whatever worked from the Continental Classic is what they've been able to build on and move forward with going into 2024. And now it's like, all right, let's just keep going. Don't do stupid shit. Let's just keep that momentum going and building on that.
I agree.
And I'll just end it with this. I like this is why I like Adam Cole, because even injured, like this dude is still useful. Like just being like just working, still working, because this dude is so good on the mic. So like I don't know how long he has until he's healed up, but like he's good, man. Like so that's why I give kudos to Adam Cole, man. So
Makes you wonder if Vince was right all along. You're a great manager, my boy.
Jesus Christ, I forgot about that.
He's gonna be the evil villain for the next 6 months, just rolling around in a wheelchair with the fucking.
Yo, I wish they had done that. I wish they had came out in a wheelchair. Somebody was pushing him in a wheelchair instead of the crutches.
Villain. Well, at least he cleaned up though. He doesn't look homeless. So we're trying to like
trimmed up. He trimmed
up.
up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
My closing topic is new companies, new faces. This year we've got a ton of new faces popping up in new companies. I mean, Will Ospreay signed to All Elite. Deonna Purrazzo is officially All Elite. Kudos to her. Made her debut in Dynamite in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander Hammerstone makes his TNA debut at Hard to Kill.
Oh, word. Okay. I didn't know.
Against Josh Alexander.
Oh,
you know what I'm
okay.
saying? That guy's on a redemption tour his damn self. He's like, yo, I got time to make up for it, man. I got to both of them. Like, they worlds colliding.
He did 5 years in a hole, man.
Yeah. Hammerstone did a little bit, man. He got to definitely go get to it. The potential of Mercedes Moné coming into Impact. Not Impact, the AEW. Trinity leaving Impact and going back to WWE. CM Punk's 2024 in WWE, Copeland's 2024 in WWE, Sting's final year, Flair in AEW. It's interesting the faces that we've got in different companies this year. You know what I mean? So I wanted to touch base on that. Some of y'all excitement, you know what I'm saying? Expectations, what's to come.
So question. So this is my first time hearing about the Trinity thing. So is that legit? Is she going back to WWE or was just speculation?
It's a rumor. It's a rumor right now, but basically her contract. This is kind of what I said a while ago about her. I didn't think that she was going to be in Impact longer than a year, and it looks like there's been a bunch of conversation that's been confirmed by the people that break news regularly, like Sean Rossap, that says that WWE have been in talks and they expect her once she's done wrapped up with TNA, she's going back to the E.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean. That's what I mean by like the Impact Knockouts division is. Between her and Deonna going, like, it's a lot of space to fill, and they've got a lot of women to step up to the plate. So, like, that's going to be really refreshing for the Impact Knockouts division.
And what's the match? They have a six woman or something like that coming up at the pay-per-view, right? They announcing like a woman a day or once a week or something like that.
I didn't keep up with it.
This for Impact?
It's for Hard to Kill.
Okay.
Yeah, they have like a 6-woman match, like almost like an X division for the women for the Knockouts division.
Women's Ultimate
X?
Like that.
Yeah, something like
That'd
that.
be fire.
I saw a couple of names, but like to your point, Deonna Purrazzo is a big. Trinity hasn't lost since she's been in Impact. You know what I mean? So, and the interesting thing about that, when they put the rebrand video out and they had everybody in the woods and they shot that and unveiled the logo, she wasn't part of that video.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those conversations where we already know what it is. We can't attach you to being the face of this new direction because we know you're not going to be here, or at least you're not likely to be here. So I looked at that when it first happened. I'm like, I think that's even more confirmation that they're not at least confident that she's going to be there. But they're going to rebuild that.
I had the feeling she wouldn't be there long just because she's, like you said, she's undefeated and she's done just about everything you can do in that Impact.
You talk about booking somebody strong. She's undefeated. You know what I'm saying? She is undefeated.
As the champion, before the champion. So
right.
It's like,
so whoever she loses to is in a really good position now. You're somebody that beat somebody that hasn't lost in a year and is the champ. That's
and it's on their way to the WWE. So like,
yeah.
You're next up for sure to lead this Knockouts division. So I think that'd be pretty damn cool.
Yeah, so I just looked up the card. Yeah, it's a Knockouts Ultimate X match that determined the #1 contender for TNA Knockouts World Championship. Giselle Shaw versus Zaya Brookside. I don't know who that is. Versus
Zaya Brookside is Regal's daughter.
really. Wow. Okay.
I could be really wrong about that. I think I'm right though. But I think Zaya Brookside is Regal's daughter.
Well, she is. Shit. I'm gonna look it up and see. My bad. Maybe go back to the card. Yeah, versus Jody Threat versus Tasha Steele versus another person to be mentioned. This card looks fire.
I think Tasha Steele wins it. This is Tasha Steele's get back into the X division. I mean, not the X division.
I'm wrong. She's Robbie Brookside's daughter. She's Robbie Brookside's daughter. But anyway, she's nice. Bottom line is she's nice.
Man, I'm gonna have to tune into this. Boy.
Regal's son, matter of fact, is in All Japan. He just had a match.
Charlie Dempsey.
He hit a fucking like a cattle mutilation.
So he's over there and in NXT right now.
Yeah, people are very upset because they were like, "Yo, why you send this low level guy over here?" And I was like, no,
that's what excursions are, bro. Like you send the young people over in different territories so they can learn different styles. But also WWE doesn't really work with a lot of companies ever, so you have people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I'm gonna check this out.
That card looks fire, by the way. But so yeah, there's a lot of moving faces, man. Like I think Nick Nemeth popped up today at Wrestle Kingdom, and he's about to shake it up with Finley, who's the brand new global champ. Brother. Yeah, you have the Nemeth brothers who could be tagging together. His brother, what's his brother's name? Ryan Nemeth was there next to him.
Ryan
he got some FaceTime. He got FaceTime on New Japan Wrestle Kingdom TV. You know what I mean? So we'll see what they do as a tag. But the thing that's always been, I've always said this about the former Dolph Ziggler. To me, there's no difference with Dolph Ziggler and Shawn Michaels other than the booking. You know, you have somebody, at least bell to bell. There's no difference. Like Shawn Michaels is really, really fucking good bell to bell, and guess what? So is Dolph Ziggler. It's just that Shawn Michaels, I guess the attitude is probably the biggest thing. Shawn Michaels and the timing. Think about what was going on in the 90s versus the type of environment that WWE was when Dolph was at his peak. Dolph wasn't going to be backstage yelling at nobody, or having influence with his crew backstage like Shawn did. So the point being is like to see, Dolph or Nick Nemeth in a fresh environment, to have fresh matchups. He's always been a guy that struck me as somebody that's really passionate about pro wrestling. Bro, so let's see what he looks like.
I watched that shit from Wrestle Kingdom and was like, he's really been in the WWE damn near 20 years. This is so crazy to think that like he has got a world of new opportunity like ahead of him in this brand.
Every match he's gonna have is gonna be a fresh matchup now.
Yeah,
easily, as opposed to him having his 20th match with the Miz.
But let's do that again. The fuck?
And that's why I'm looking forward to seeing him, because like you said, like this guy was great bell to bell. I never really had not liked him. It was just he just wasn't pushed.
He was on a hamster wheel. It was like, the matches were one thing, and then for a time, the only thing he would come out and say is like, it should have been me. I should be the guy, which on camera in kayfabe is such a stupid ass argument. If you should have been the guy, then you would have got it done.
Right, you would have been the guy. Right.
At a time when a lot of the OGs weren't around, they trusted Dolph. I just think the injuries just didn't really help him. Like
that concussion. It was that concussion. He won that title, caught the concussion, and never got it back.
NXT heavyweight title.
Never got it back. Never, he's up there with Seth as far as having, the best Money in the Bank cash-ins. And their careers went in totally different directions afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
For a guy that started out as Chavo White's caddy, man, it should definitely change. Yeah. Definitely change for Nick Nemeth.
Yeah. But yeah, like, Mercedes is up in the air. We don't know where she's going. But that's always
at this point, I think
that's
she is
the
going,
big fish.
I think she is going all elite, yo.
All signs are pointing to them. The story was that she was basically trying to get the bag. Charlotte Flair is the highest paid women's wrestler of all time. And with Mercedes coming back, she was like,
I'll match that. And I'll do better.
Yeah, I'm gonna need X2. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need X2 or whatever number she was looking like. And they said, nah. So she's still outside. And it looks like, you already know that Tony is opening the bank. So, and he has the bank to open.
between her and Deanna, how much are we going to care about
Yo.
AEW's women's division in
Yo,
20?
I was.
You know what a
listen,
match
Yo,
with Deanna Purrazzo moving in, and you have who just came? They just had the video. She's back. The professor.
Serena.
Serena
Serena
Deeb versus
Deeb.
Deanna
I
Purrazzo is up
forgot
my
about
fucking
that.
alley, dog.
Oh man, I forgot about that. Damn.
That sounds like a good 9-minute on Dynamite. I'm here for that though.
Yo,
Put it on Rampage, Dynamite, and Collision. I want to see a trio, a fucking little series.
Turn to 9:30 and we see that on the screen. That actually can slap.
Yo, speaking of that, we actually saw a women's match before 9:00 on Dynamite.
Because there's direction.
Right.
That was two
I
things.
like
that was the first match of Mariah May, and that was the debut of Deanna Purrazzo.
Right.
Oh shit! When we have direction, there's importance. Let's put it in a primetime spot.
Absolutely. And I
It
think
ain't that hard, dog.
it's really not. And I think with Deanna Purrazzo coming, and you have Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa's back.
Just came back. I think
Britt
that's
Baker's always on the whenever
And-
she pops up.
and Serena Deeb. I think that's a nice little jolt in the arm, and if you give them some direction, I think they're gonna be fine. It's fine. It's just the direction.
We say all this now, and Willow is going to be doing 10 more run-ins post-match
Oh my God, yeah.
before
Listen.
anything changes.
100%. But say something. If you are getting booked into some bullshit, say something.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm kind of tired of these run-ins. And I like
Say
Willow.
something.
Yeah,
I love Willow. Love Willow. I thought that her, even though Mercedes broke an ankle and she called an audible, her beating Mercedes for that New Japan title was something that they should have capitalized on, and her winning the Owen was something that they should have capitalized on. And those two stats led to nothing.
You ask anybody that watches AEW that, and they'll be like, "Yo, word? When did you?
It came and went. Who won the men's
Yo,
Owen?
when did she win the Owen Hart? Yo,
Who
when
won
did
the
she beat
men's? Was that
Mercedes?
Ricky? Was that Ricky that won the men's Owen?
Yes,
Right. Led to nothing.
but absolutely nothing.
Led to nothing. Think about like the King of the Ring tournaments. That's what this shit should be.
I like
And
that.
and those aren't like 100% of the time it works. It's just that it's a platform. It worked for some people. It worked for Triple H. It worked for Stone Cold. Make it work for the. Who else would you say was moving around? So we have Punk is
Copeland.
back.
Yeah, I was gonna say Copeland. I was gonna get into a Copeland
Adam
bag.
Copeland, yeah.
Is it Punk or Cody that wins the Rumble?
I'm sorry, you said.
Punk or Cody that
Punk or
wins the
Cody.
Rumble? I'm going Punk.
I thought you said Coda, like Coda Ibushi. I was like, oh shit,
Nah, Cody's out there. You saw he
Yeah.
broke his ankle or some shit.
for real?
Oh, really?
He
Damn.
he was wrestling in either Noah or All Japan, and the injuries are catching up.
Good thing you got that fresh
Excuse me,
new
the
contract.
injuries have caught up. It's not even catching up.
Good thing you got that fresh new
man.
contract. He'll be back just in time for something with something.
Yeah, speedy recovery
Wrestle
to you,
Green.
but
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Copeland's 2024.
Copeland, I said this a few episodes ago. Copeland had my favorite promo, by the way, of 24, or at least of the last, second half of
Who
24.
would have thought? That's so crazy.
I was wrong. I said that I was wrong a few months ago, or a few episodes at least ago. Listen, bro, like since he's been in, this feud back and forth with Christian has been fire. Nothing whack. Nothing whack whatsoever.
I
Yeah.
agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
And
been-
like the
it's been
match
good.
that they just had with the swerve at the end, the little money in the bank type of deal with Kill Switch, Luchasaurus, whatever. Fucking brilliant.
Kill
It
some
was
smoke.
very well put together. I have no idea what happens to patriarchy. Maybe Luchasaurus goes face sooner than later.
Nah,
I
it's-
just
it's,
don't
it's
think-
getting there. It's getting there. Man was about to punch that nigga out, man.
I just hope Copeland can have more feuds in 2024 and not be stuck in this patriarch verse the entire year. Although I have a feeling with the way we're going to get back to the reuniting of the tag team, I think it might be inevitable that they'll be paired with each other for the foreseeable future, at least for this first year of AEW. Whether it's run gauntlet to get back to Christian, trios matches with FTR against the patriarchy, like there's different things that I think will be
Yeah.
extended with Copeland.
Right. And I'm not mad at that as long as they keep it interesting, you know.
That's the one thing about him having history with Christian. It's like, this is cool and all, but like if we would have led to this instead of jumping to it, I think for me, I think I'd have enjoyed more Copeland versus
Right, that
I
drawing
think
it out a little bit more, right? Like,
Copeland
instead of
just
jumping
going
right
on
to
like
it.
on a list. Like if Copeland had the list that he had together, like, yo, listen, I'm just here to just kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. Like Swerve, Joe, Hangman, Omega. I wanna beat up all you guys right now. And then
Right,
Christian Cage, I'm gonna come for you when the time is right.
right,
Pause. And that would have been all right.
right. You want a certain build to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Now I just feel he's gonna be stuck in the patriarch verse for like at least his first year of his run with AEW. Like when he comes back eventually, even though Christian said back of the line, I just don't see that happening. Would be nice
Yeah.
though. At least give him something else to do. But I just don't see it.
There's one really, really big name that we haven't mentioned. By the way, Tama Tonga, I think
Oh yeah, I just see he's gone.
he's out of here at the end of the month.
He wants to go back home.
Yeah, so we'll see what Tama Tonga does. Will Ospreay is officially signed with AEW. Where does he fit in now? You know what I mean? Like Will Ospreay, among many people, and myself included, is top 5, top 3, number 1, wherever you want to put him. He's in that upper echelon as far as people that can say make an honest claim to being the best in the world right now. So if he comes, he ain't doing no TNT title unless a few with Christian and Ospreay would be interesting, but he's going. Where's he going? You know what I mean? Like when he comes into AEW, what's the move with Will Ospreay? I'm not going to predict it. I have no idea.
Right.
But what I'm saying is like,
I can't.
where do you think he's going?
I'll say I can see him. I mean, obviously you see him going for the world title, but I can see him being a very long reigning international champion. I can see him beating Orange for the title at some point, and he'll have that title, and he can tour the if you want he can tour the world with that as well. But I can see him long reigning. That's just me for now. As far as like, because you say like he's the top of the top of the echelon, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I can't see him going for anything lower than that. You know, it's either that or the world title.
I think he gets a warm welcome from the Blackpool Combat Club. In continuation with Wrestle Kingdom, there's that Moxley pairing that can continue to happen as he comes over. Him and Bryan Danielson, they might not wait till London. They might just get it popping.
They have to do that shit. They have to get that match
London?
in
Oh
there.
yeah, absolutely.
They might not wait till London.
No,
they
they're
might
not
just
going to
get
wait
it
till.
popping. They might
They
got to
get that shit
Revolution.
immediately. Yeah.
Like Revolution, like right out the gate, Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay, and it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
first time ever. Like, damn, this is way more exciting than him facing Orange Cassidy, and like not right now, man. Just give me the bangers of Will Ospreay. That's how you set the precedent of who the fuck Will Ospreay is, by being like, yo, you and Bryan Danielson first time ever Revolution. We got to sell this fucking pay per view. Like,
I'm gonna say this, like there could be a learning from the way that they launched Jay White, right? Because they're in that same caliber as far as top guys from Japan now being signed to AEW, right? Former world champs and all of that.
Right.
The mistake, in my opinion, that they made, the only mistake with Jay White, was not having an interview segment, whether it be Tony Schiavone or Renee Paquette, that says, we have big news. We just signed a former IWGP World Champion. Let me bring Jay White to the stage. Jay White, what are you here to do in AEW? That's all they had to do to make that shit. Instead, they had him do a run-in. Yes, we've already seen him in AEW, but he wasn't signed to AEW. So all you had to do was just thread that shit and get him to verbally say what his motivation for signing with AEW is. I'm here to face the best competition. I'm watching Kurt Angle, like I said earlier, when he came to TNA. He immediately, Samoa Joe wasn't the world champ, but he was undefeated, 18 months. I want to get in the face of who everybody is saying is the biggest, baddest motherfucker here. I'm going to headbutt you. You're not as good as you think you are. And then he tapped him out. And I'm here because I want to face the best competition in the world. I think all the best competition in the world is here in TNA. So all you had to have Jay White do, and this is without me seeing that until now. This is what I was saying months ago. So you have do that with Will Ospreay. Learn from the mistake of not launching Jay White with an explanation of why he decided to sign. If you were already popping over there, why would you leave? because I want to face the best competition. I think the best competition is here. And then from there, we don't have to immediately get into a title situation. We could do like what you were saying, have him go up against Bryan Danielson. You've been talking that shit about being the best. I'm the best. What up? We got a pay-per-view. Let's make it pop.
Box and Danielson both need something to do post-Continental Classic, and Will Ospreay is definitely the right opportunity on his debut.
Yo, Jon Moxley could very easily, when Will Ospreay pops in, say, all right, my boy, you cost me a championship match in that triple threat because you got pinned. I didn't get pinned, and you cost me the opportunity because you lost. Fuck that. Let's go.
Yep.
That's built in. Let's go. Very simple storytelling.
And then you could go right off of you lost in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom and or whatever the case is, and you know what I'm saying? Here we are. Like now I'm ready to just show that I'm the best and I'm better than you, period.
100%.
And then CM Punk's 2024. Wow.
I think we get the – so I think he wins the Rumble. I think – you know what's interesting? What comes out of this conversation is what's that night 1 and night 2 looking like? Those night 1, night 2 main events. And unfortunately, I think Cody is the odd man out right now. Because I think Punk wins the Rumble. He has his main event match against Seth for the title.
CM Punk wins the World Heavyweight title.
I
don't know. I don't. I think that's the night 1 main event. And then I think the Tribal Chief shit is the built-in storyline that again doesn't need the title, which is why Cody should have won that shit this year or last year. But that's gonna main event night 2 is gonna be Roman versus Rock. So I'm not sure if Cody. The only way you have to be able to get the title off of Roman before he has the match with The Rock, and I'm not sure how you do that. Unless Roman is wrestling twice in one night or twice that weekend. And for a guy that wrestled like 10 times last year, I don't see that shit happening either.
Elimination Chamber.
You think Roman is in the Elimination Chamber?
I think the Elimination Chamber could be for the Universal Championship, and this is how we get to Randy versus Cody.
Bro, like what? How good? Again, kayfabe only, right? Paul Heyman was smart enough to negotiate this very comfortable schedule for Roman Reigns, but he slips on allowing Roman Reigns to have to defend his title in the Elimination Chamber?
Because it's Nick Aldis running SmackDown, and he's here for the fuck shit.
He is.
He's like, yo, I don't care if you're Roman Reigns. Like, I'm fucking Nick Aldis. Like, I run this shit. So it's like, if I want to put you in the Elimination Chamber,
I
like,
loved that segment. Was it last week, a week before, whatever?
Yeah, that's what I was about to get to because Roman already came in there and made a questionable impression with it.
Like, that's what we're doing? He's like, yeah, that's definitely what we're doing. Like, that's what I'm on.
All right, so that's my answer to that. I think Punk wins the Rumble. He faces Seth, and then we have the probably Rock versus Roman on the main event for Sunday. But what do you think, or both of y'all, what do you think happens with Punk? For Mania, specifically.
I see him.
Seth. We had Seth. It's going to be Seth. There's really no way around it. It's not going to be CM Punk, Drew, fucking McIntyre. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I think it's definitely going to be Punk and Seth. I think Punk is probably winning that title because
Seth has been in such of a WrestleMania limbo these last couple of years that, like, he's earned the right to have a marquee, notable feud and match that has build up and a world title that he's representing going into the pay-per-view, not as a challenger. So it's like, I think Seth has earned this type of level of a title match. So whether it's a blatant, obvious fact that we're getting Seth Punk at WrestleMania, I'm here for it because up until Cody's return, I mean, what did we do? We thought he was just going to be wrestling God at WrestleMania that night. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did he wrestle? What did he do last year?
Seth?
Yeah.
Was it Brock?
No, I don't think it was Brock. It was. Now I got to look that up. Hold on.
What did he do the year before that? And the year before that? And the year before
I know one of those was Brock, and he beat Brock. It was like the opening match at Mania that he beat Brock for the title. So that wasn't last year because last year was what did Roman had Cody last year. The year before was Roman and Brock. So I think it was 3 years ago that Seth had Brock.
Let me see.
Did he?
Something like
shit.
that. It was like the opening match. I know it was an opening match, and he beat Brock.
Wasn't that like SummerSlam or something? For real?
Nah, it was Mania. It was Mania.
No.
You know what's funny? I'm just peeping. I never went live on Instagram, but whatever.
Yeah, I peeped. I was like, it is what it is. So, Roman, I mean not Roman. Rollins, he took on Logan Paul at WrestleMania last year.
Oh,
Seth?
yes.
Seth and Logan Paul was last year.
Yep.
That was last year.
Yep.
Logan's the U.S. champ right now, right?
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
He's going to have a great 2024.
You think we see Bad Bunny? Who's the celebrity? Do we see Bad Bunny again? Like
was-
Logan Paul, obviously, but do we see Bad Bunny again? Or
Yes.
like, they've been doing a really good job with Bad Bunny. Why not bring him back?
If we get a whole lucha matchup between Santos, Carlito, Ray, Dragon Lee, Dominic, and the rest
I
of
got
the
a
gang-
name.
Andrade.
Andrade.
Andrade should come back and go right to SmackDown. I think he flourished more on SmackDown, although I don't want him to get caught up in the Luchaverse, which is what I just said will happen because Bad Bunny will return and overshadow all of it.
But I think that's what they're gonna do. Unfortunately, like, you remember the pandemic was a lot of Ray and Andrade holding it down and getting busy. Right? It was also Andrade with Zelina Vega.
Great pairing.
I think that Zelina Vega pairing was too good for them not to go back to that well. So that's LWO.
Yeah, because after this LWO breakup thing, Zelina Vega's kind of floating around, so that would be a good look. And not to cut y'all off, Seth took on Cody Rhodes in that in the singles match.
Last year, right?
The year before.
The year before, yeah. Right, because that led to Seth losing 3 times to him.
Yeah.
Including the torn pec match.
Right, exactly. I was like, shit.
The year before that was when Seth beat Brock.
All right, we'll see. Let me see. So
CM Punk's 2024 for me is going to feel like non-stop wins, great promo exchanges, and a pretty heavy world title run.
All right, here's the question. After he beats Seth, which I agree that he is going to beat Seth at Mania, what's the next feud for him? What makes sense? What do you want to see? Who do you want to see CM Punk in a matchup with? What's fresh for him?
Everyone. You could throw anyone. Like, it's like Samoa Joe. Like, I think they're going to pair, like how WWE and AEW take from each other. If Samoa Joe's the AEW World Champion, CM Punk will be the World Heavyweight Champion. And it could be anyone. Like, I can't really speculate right now who I want to see him face, just because you could throw any name out. Like, either y'all could throw a name out, and I'll be like, yeah, I've never seen that before. I'll take that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Him versus LA Knight and rehashing on Randy Orton.
Yeah,
with
I
Braun Strowman,
think the
anyone.
thing with Punk is like who would make an interesting back and forth on the mic with, because like the matches are going to be cool, right? We know what he can do in the ring. It's not going to be interesting back and forth on the microphone, whether it just be because the other person is really good or it be because there's some history that they can build on.
It just won't happen until after. It's going to happen until probably Money in the Bank. I don't think any new feud, once the Seth Rollins feud kicks in, will happen until after Money in the Bank close to SummerSlam, because we're going to be.
Oh my god!
You want to get a rubber match. We want to get at least a rematch.
I also
rubber
think
match.
that's how we get a Seth heel turn. Like he loses, that drives him back to, losing his shit, which led to the gimmick that he's in right now.
He's going to shed all the cool shit and just be back on his dickhead shit.
Yo, speaking of Seth took on Cesaro the year before that.
What year is this?
This is WrestleMania 37,
What year is that?
2021.
I have no recollection of that shit.
Me
at all.
neither, Jesus.
Yo, fam. That's what I mean by like, he's earned this feud, bro.
Yo, bro, he did beat Brock for that title, did he not? Was that?
I think that was at like Hell in a Cell, bro.
Did that even happen anymore? Goddamn.
It might have been at like TLC.
No, it happened.
Bro. Yeah, I think it was at like TLC or Payback or something.
It had to be like, yeah.
I remember it was like an opening match for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember something. I mean, I gotta look this up. All right.
That's very funny.
All right, I'll keep looking this up.
But yeah, man, like in general, like are there any other names that are out there that have, already confirmed where they're going? Mustafa Ali is one. He's
WrestleMania
obviously
35.
you beat him.
There we go.
Seth versus Brock.
Yeah, it was WrestleMania 35.
35. That
Okay.
was 4. Jesus Christ. That was like 4. Oh, Lord.
Cesaro's a whole nother person. He done been world ROH world champ. Like that nigga been Claudio for a whole presidential term now.
Nah, for real. He really been all elite for a minute, son.
Oh,
That's funny. He debuted at the first Forbidden Door.
He's been around for a minute.
Is that 2 years?
Yeah,
2.5, let's say.
2 years.
yeah,
Now.
Yeah.
I think 2 years. Yeah.
Been 2 different Forbidden Doors, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely 2 years now.
He debuted against Zach. He had the Bryan match when Bryan went down with the injury.
Oh yeah.
That's
word.
funny.
So I mean, that's pretty much everyone's 2024. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
there's moving and shaking. Like Mustafa Ali, he's doing his campaign right now, so
He's
we'll
gonna
see where he
smoke it.
ends up. TNA would be an amazing place for him. I'm really one of the things for at least the first quarter. I can really only go quarter by quarter. I am really, really interested and excited about what TNA does as a promotion to capitalize on the conversation that they have going on around them right now, or at least the conversation that they had once they said we're doing this TNA shit. There's moving faces. A lot of people are going and coming. Change titles are being changed. Whatever. Between now and the first month of April, just before WrestleMania, let's see what TNA does and who's on top in TNA. You know what I mean? I'm really excited about that because there's an opportunity for a lot of people to let's do some different shit. You know, Santana's another name. I don't know what his contract situation is. He's still obviously
House of
with
Glory?
AEW. Yeah, he's the House of Glory guy. But as far as like televised promotions, we only have 4, let's say.
But do you see
in
him
America?
Glory making a jump?
Look, I've been saying for the longest that Ken Broadway has been ready, in my opinion. And the furthest I've seen him go was MLW, and it's not even consistent there. So I'd like to see that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, like I don't know. Like again, like Santana, I guess is like technically a House of Glory guy, but he's an AEW guy. So there's that. Alumni wise, I think Private Party has the best opportunity that they've had since they debuted to do something interesting, just because they were highlighted. But from House of Glory, I'm not sure. Like I think Charles Mason has a built-in character that translates to what people like to do on TV. You know, crazy psychopath, and it's believable. So let's see. You know, CZW moves,
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
Mike Bailey.
GCW moves. Pardon me.
Yeah, GCW.
Mike Bailey will probably be pretty. Mike Bailey, I think, is Impact. He's TNA down.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
TNA. I mean, him and Ospreay had the best males single match in TNA this year or last year.
They did. So
Yeah,
I
that
can
shit
see
was
Mike Bailey
fire.
staying.
Yeah, I think
Nobody
he stays.
really from the independents like NWA, like everybody I think is gonna stay over where they are right now.
There's not too many people that are on my radar from the indies. Like
Camille.
like Billy
Camille,
Starks,
though.
Camille's
on the WWE's radar.
100%.
supposedly.
100%. So is Julia from Stardom.
I think her going to NXT is gonna be pretty damn alright. They're
Yeah.
so stacked over there, man. They got so
Yeah.
much heat in NXT right now.
Yeah,
to win the division.
they got a
Julia-
heavy roster over there, man.
Julia is just gonna have to come out swinging, but because they play good hot potato with that women's title, I think Julia will be champion within a year of her being in NXT.
I really like to see. I mean, this ain't a free agent, but how they capitalize on Billy Starks. You know, she ended the year great with Athena.
Oh,
I
man.
really like Queen Aminata. I've been watching her for a minute.
Word. Yeah, I
Like,
like
she's
her.
very, very physical, and she has a really good build. She's tall as shit. So is damn, who's with the infantry is dope on Ring of Honor. Trisha Dora. Trisha Dora is somebody who I think should get a
Yeah.
focus also. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, man.
Like
I've been like,
wrestlers.
yeah, I've been like before the I guess the pandemic, or I guess the start of the pandemic, whenever we started seeing that Ring of Honor. So I've been like
Yeah.
I've said this once or twice, maybe a few episodes back. There's everybody does not have to go to AEW. You got TNA coming back. You got New Japan. You got WWE, NXT. The whole nine. Like everybody can go other places and I think they can thrive. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be AEW. AEW is overpacked, and we're probably going to keep saying that numerous times on this podcast,
Yeah,
but
that's
it's,
why.
but it's
That's
exciting
why
to
I'm
see,
very
man.
excited about what TNA does because
Yeah.
they have the best shot to reinvigorate and make sure that they're a place that becomes a destination for other people to go that
Right.
people don't like laugh at. You know what I'm saying? Like for
Agreed.
so long, Impact has been that company that people are like, oh, Impact. Nah. Like let's put some respect on them. Like nobody stays in business for 20 years by accident. You know what I'm saying? So word up. But
Right.
yeah, man, the bottom line here, a lot of people are moving and shaking. Let's see what happens. Let's keep it fresh. I think it's time to get out of here. We got an hour 49 in the bank. We have an outro survey.
Yes,
The
we
outro
do.
survey is this. Will Swerve win any title by Double or Nothing in May? Double or Nothing is the second pay-per-view of the year, right?
Yes.
I think Swerve wins the world championship at Double or Nothing. Because I think Joe has one successful pay-per-view defense, and he loses to Swerve in May at Double or Nothing.
Hmm.
Interesting. I I say yeah, and maybe not the world championship. Maybe the international championship. I could see him having that. I could see him getting that. But it's kind of hard to call too because it's like Swerve really doesn't need a championship to thrive, but it would be nice for him to have one. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he's cool right now with it without a championship. Like we're not fiending for him to have one. Like this dude's he's steadily rising right now. So
I'll disagree there. He's hot right now, but he's made it clear on TV multiple times that he wants a world championship, and that's not by accident.
And I'll end on
Okay.
this that the current world champion has been beat by Rey Mysterio in less than 8 minutes at a WrestleMania. So this is the closest we will ever get to seeing Swerve become world heavyweight champion in 2024. All right, he's not in the MJF verse. It's on. It's going. The title can actually potentially move around now this year. Word. Whose house? Ringside folks.
It's the Ringside Club's house. Now, I mean, it's the mightiest of the mighty, the RSC. First episode of 2024 is in
Cersei.
the books. Once again, we're going to be in the building, weather permitting, for this House of Glory show this Saturday. I'm going to be up for a lot of hours coming up watching this New Japan New Year Dash, see what the fallout from Wrestle Kingdom is. So,
and I will not.
It's on Twitter.
I mean,
It's on
I'll,
X.
I'll be on X with some little tweets here and there. But yeah, man, Peace the Book, who's out on assignment. Make sure you tap in about 20 minutes. He has 3 brand new releases, so tap in with Blame Boogie. Check those releases, know what I mean? And catch your boys. I'm bringing back oh, damn, we have 5 comments. Look at me, producing and missing shit. Shouts to Devin Kemp. Let's run through these real quick. What did he say? The Miz, Mello, he was pushed for a minute. We don't hear much now. I'm trying to see all right, this is interesting. I'm trying to see TJP somewhere else after Wrestle Kingdom. TJP is a dude that has been like, and peace to Devin, can't appreciate the comments. There was one more. I don't think he'll take it after Wembley. My apologies, Devin. I ain't been on the show in about 2 weeks, so I forgot how this shit works. But thank you for the
Thank you for
comments
tapping
and all
in,
that.
man. Thank you for tapping in.
But let's talk about TJP real quick. He's one half of the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Champs. TJP, in my opinion, the thing about TJP has always been he's like he's sneaky nice. He's one of those guys that's really, really nice, but doesn't have a lot of conversation about him. I don't know what his contract situation is, but should he pop up anywhere, I could see him going back to TNA and thriving. He was thriving when he was there the first time. You know what I mean? So
he's one of the Matt Seidel level of vets that he's currently he's older, established, and just not in the current landscape of what's, new and up and coming. Like, he's going to make a living doing what he does in the federations that he's running around. But I don't think TJP is going to have the TJP is all elite sticker. I don't think that's going to be the one that does it this year. But he will keep doing great things in the Japan circuit, the Indy circuit. I'm sure he'll pop up in, GCW or a place that he usually does. But I just don't see TJP moving past that level. I think it's just an age thing, unfortunately.
But Leo, the thing about that, I didn't realize like TJP is close to like almost like a Randy Orton length of career.
Yes,
Like,
he's been like 20 years.
He's got like 2 dimes damn near in the game, and he's in amazing shape, much like Randy Orton is, but at a much more physical and risky type of style. You know what I mean?
It don't even look like he's been in the game for 20 years. I feel like he just came in. Like
he looks like fucking Pharrell.
He reminds me of Billy Kidman a lot. Like if Billy Kidman could have kept going.
He does. I think a little bit more technical than Billy Kidman, but Billy Kidman was another dude that was like sneaky nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, like I've seen like 5-6 quality pay-per-view matches in a row from this guy. Like,
I ain't gonna front. I really didn't see a shooting star presence until I watched Billy Kidman in WCW. So I was like, nah, that's actually a fire move. Like,
good call.
You might be right about that.
Call.
Yeah,
Good call.
Word. I think that
best
was the first
WCW finishers.
He was wearing like fucking skateboard knee pads.
Yeah, ridiculous. He had a wife beater and a fucking ripped jeans. Was crazy with the wrestling pants.
Yo, peace to Devin, man. Appreciate you throwing them comments in. I mean,
this is the anniversary of the finger poke of doom, by the way.
Today, right? Yeah, I saw that.
Oh man,
I saw that.
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Word up. There's no better way to end the show than fuck Hulk Hogan. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Ringside Club, episode 69. 70 is next episode. Once again, tapping with Blame Boogie, tapping with us at theringsideclub.com, everywhere on all socials and shit like that. I'm bringing the signature move back this coming Monday. We had the holidays, but I'm going to get back into the kayfabe-only stratosphere. And I mean, we back at it.
We got to make sure to put a pause in the episode titles to the 69.
We out of here. Peace.